Clutch Trucker filmed before a live and very, very fuzzy studio audience. That's Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. And he's getting groomed today. That's right. We're right now outside of PetSmart in Fargo, North Dakota, about to drop him off, so we had to get the before shot. And you'll see how clean and purty he is in the end of the video. Right, Rusty? Hey, YouTube. Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning into another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel. Alright, it's been like over a week since my last video. I know, but I've been working my arse off. Making big money, though, running heavy miles. And my schedule's flipped over a couple of times. I've been, getting 2 hours of sleep here, 3 hours there, 4 hours there. So it's been nuts. I've been running like crazy. But I've got stuff still that I wanted to put on the last video. I didn't want to make it too long. So we're going to touch on that stuff today. I've got a crash cam thing to show you. A house going down the road. I found an old mobile home I used to live in Nacogdoches, Texas. That was, the last run I was doing when I did my last video. So we've got lots of stuff to show you since then. There was a huge backup on I-65 in Indiana. Nothing to show you really except for a couple of pictures of me backed up on this little tiny county road. I'll show you that. That was Thursday morning. I spent a 34 off at the Cold Spring Brewery in Cold Spring, Minnesota, and got going again today. I'm heading to Washington. And as you saw in the opening, I was in Fargo early this morning and dropped Rusty off so he can get groomed. So Rusty did get groomed. You'll see the results of that at the end of the video. Right now it is Saturday the 7th of August. Driving in Montana. Just crossed the border into Montana a little while ago. Stopped at the town pump in Glendive. And I don't know if you can see on the video how smoky it is. You can tell it just looks real hazy out there. But it's real smoky because apparently there's a whole bunch of wildfires in Montana, in California, Washington State. So it looks like for the rest of my drive all the way to the Seattle area for Tuesday delivery, I'll be driving through lots of smoky skies. You might want to call these the Smoky Mountains, but they're not. You might be able to tell on this shot a little bit better how smoky it is out there. You look towards the horizon and yeah, you don't see too much. Maybe I can zoom in on the dash cam video. You can see a little bit more, but yep, smoky. I think the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee were originally called that. I may be wrong. Beth DeRoos, I'm sure you probably know the answer to this. My guess is it was named that from the old days when everybody who lived in the mountains there used to have to heat their homes and cook and everything by just burning wood. Well, it making lots of smoke that would then stay down in the valleys and kind of hover around the mountains. Hence the Smoky Mountains. My guess, I could be wrong. Alright, first thing I want to hit on in this video is when I was driving down, I had picked up in, I did the Battle Creek, Michigan. That was on my last video with that crazy dock. Went to Newton, Iowa. Then I went to, picked up in Newton, Iowa. Went to Waverly, Iowa. And then I got a load that was going down to, or I picked up in Humboldt, Iowa, going down to East Texas, to Nacogdoches and Marquez, Texas. On my way down, I saw Schneider in Oklahoma shredding their tire on the trailer.
Schneider, is that you who's shredding tires all over the road?
Yeah, I shouted at him on the CB and wasn't sure if they knew what was going on or not. This pickup is going to move over here and we'll try to get a zoomed in shot of that tire getting shredded there.
Schneider, if you got a radio on in there, your inside right rear trailer tire is falling apart, buddy.
Alright, got it zoomed in here. Look at that. Kind of see it wobbling there on the inside, on that right side. It was actually on the front axle. I thought it was the rear axle. But as I got up next to...
that tire is completely shredded.
I got up next to him and blew my air horn, tried to get their attention. Because they didn't have a radio on.
Probably wouldn't be able to get his attention. Blown apart. Alright, I actually got her attention, so I'll pull over too so I can go show her what tire is completely shredded.
Turned out to be the front axle inside trailer tire. Look at that. Almost completely shredded apart. Well, that was interesting. At least I got her to pull over. Real nice lady Schneider driver. So I got up next to her and blew my air horn. And she looked at me like, what? And she didn't have a radio on, so all I could do was give her some symbols. I'm like, tire, boom, exploded. And she's like, oh, okay. And so pulled off to the right. So I pulled off in front of her so I could show her where it was. Of course, she first hopped out of the truck and looked back there. I'm like, what am I looking at? So I had to get up there and say, no, it's your inside trailer tire. It was actually on the front axle. It looked like it was on the back when I first came up on her, but yeah, so then of course she couldn't get anybody to answer at her company. That's the problem with a big company. And that's the nice thing about being an owner operator. We passed a Love's about 13 miles back. I said, that's going to be your closest shot. You shouldn't drive on it anymore because it's going to keep shredding itself, and it'll probably take out the next tire next to it, so you don't want to do that. So good luck to her. She said thanks for the help and all that, so at least she pulled over when I was letting her know, yeah, your tire's kaputs. And before that one, even while I was still back up in Missouri, I ran into this one. It was a couple of four-wheelers mashed into each other. Not terrible. They weren't like completely banged up, but if you look closely, it will show on the zoom in and everything. The right rear of this one little white car, the wheel was kind of out of whack and everything. They got hit pretty bad.
You got construction down here. It's coming to a stop.
Lots of disco lights up here. We got
I believe the right lane's closed.
cop on the left, an ambulance on the right.
The right lane closes completely at the 31.8.
So for right now, we're all in the right lane, but like how this car who whipped by me in front of me now puts their flashers on. Like, I didn't know about it. I was the one warning you with my air horn. Idiot. So the cop kicking a lot of debris off of the road, so yeah, that car got hit there in the left or the right rear. I guess that other car is the one that hit him. I don't know. And now the clutch trucker zoom and slow-mo. Yeah, that car got hit there in the left or the right rear. After I made my first delivery in Nacogdoches, Texas, I used to live in Nacogdoches, Texas years ago, like 30 years ago. There was this great restaurant there called Nacho Mama's. Unfortunately, not there anymore. I delivered right near where I used to live. I used to live off of the bottom loop there, the bottom loop in Nacogdoches. There's a little mobile home kind of strip or park or whatever. And I was curious to see if that mobile home was still there, and it was. 30 years later, the mobile home I used to rent. All right, there it is. It's still there. The same mobile home, believe it or not. That's the one we rented, 423 Ridgewood Drive. How about that? Yep, my early 20s when we lived there, and I remember going down the side of the trailer to have to light the water heater right there in the back every morning so I could have a hot shower. Then after I checked out the mobile home, I was coming back out to the loop there, and then I see this house going down the road. There's a house coming down the road. Very old and beat up house, but you don't see that every day. Gotta love it. Alright, so I did my second delivery in Marquez, Texas, then went over to Waco, Texas to pick up a load of empty bottles, going all the way up to Fairport, New York. Ran into a whole bunch of thunderstorms, and they got major thunderstorms in Missouri. There was tornado warnings and lots of lightning. Let's check this out. So you saw the lightning, you get back up into Missouri, and then there's a tornado warning, and the winds get crazy, and I had to get off the road, parked at this little kind of gas and sip, and look at this. I-55 north, just crossed into Missouri. I pulled off at this exit here, because it was blowing so bad, the rain's coming down so bad I couldn't see anything. So here I am, I don't even know where I'm at. Just across the border, Steele, Missouri is where I'm at. The wind, I'm sitting here parked at this little mini truck stop convenience store, and the wind is blowing the truck around so bad. Just sitting here. Thank God I got off the road. You can see the wind pushing the rain and everything across the lot right in front of me there. This is freaking nuts. There was a tornado warning that came down just a few minutes ago right nearby, so probably a good thing I got off the road. Hello! Did that delivery on Monday night at 10 p.m. I had to do a split to make that happen. I had to kind of do some log magic, and then I had to go pick up in another place in New York a load of salt. Check this out. I'm picking up at this salt plant here in Watkins Glen, New York, and it's right off of Seneca Lake. How much right off the lake? Look at this. Hello. Of course, the broker didn't give me the right pickup number, so now we're waiting for them to call me back, so hopefully I can get loaded. Gotta love it, baby. Sometimes you get a good view out the truck. This is Seneca Lake in New York State, kind of middle of upper state New York, or upstate New York. At a salt plant, getting loaded. Well, at least kind of a nice view, and it's actually kind of a nice morning, only about 60 degrees. Yeah, Watkins Glen, New York is where that was picked up, and then that was going all the way down to Greenwood, Indiana. I had to deliver to an Aldi grocery warehouse. They held me up. It was a midnight delivery. I picked up that morning, had to drive straight through and deliver, and they held me up there. I only got a few hours sleep, then had to pick up my next load, which was in Greendale, Indiana, now down near Cincinnati, 96 miles away from where I was, and that was going up to Cold Spring, Minnesota. It was supposed to deliver within a day, and of course I ran into trouble on I-65 in Indiana. The whole interstate was shut down. Apparently one truck hit a tanker, they went off the overpass, and so they had the whole interstate shut down for hours. And they had to route us off of exit 205. Here's a look at the line of traffic on this tiny little county road going through this tiny little town in Indiana. Believe me, this little town was not expecting this kind of traffic coming through it. I have to have a koozie to hold my sodas in place in my little holder down here because they're too big without the koozie. So let me show you this one I found in Glendive, Montana. And of course, after I got Rusty groomed, I always buy him a new little toy. So I got him this little bone toy. Take a look at that. Yes, so there he is, the nicely groomed. They didn't do the greatest job at that PetSmart in Fargo, North Dakota. Missoula, Montana did a much better job. But they did pretty good. They got the fur out of his eyes, and they didn't do quite as much around the face. But they got everything else nice and short. They got his paws real good, so not too bad at all, right, Rusty? Well, we hope you enjoyed all that, stuff from the road. Yeah, that house I used to live in Texas, that mobile home, a house going down the road, crash cam, crazy weather, You know, the smoke in Montana. Lots of stuff to look at there, right, Rusty? Well, it's been over a week in the making, so there you go. And that Schneider shredding their tire, Schneider shredding. So you feel better now that you're groomed, don't you? Of course you do. Ain't he purty? Thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. Please like and comment if you'd like to. I get your comments. Sometimes takes a day or two or three because I'm a working truck driver. Don't forget about Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker at Twitter, and that TikTok one is coming soon. I know I keep referring to that, but I've just been working so hard I haven't had a chance to do it yet. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. Going before a live and very fuzzy studio audience. Yep, that's Rusty, the world famous meatball dog. And he's getting groomed today, so we need to get the all right, the freshly groomed Rusty is now claiming his begging strip bounty. Come on, get it. There you go. Oh yes, happy dog. And he's such a pretty dog now, ain't he? All cleaned and purty. Right, Rusty? Give us the happy dog look. Happy dog look. Come on, Rusty. There you go.